afternoon, folks. Can I, on behalf of Ronnie Thompson's and the staff and the management here, welcome each of you along here this afternoon. And can I thank you on behalf of the family for your expression of sympathy just by your presence here today. I know that means a lot to the family, and I know they really appreciate you being here. The service today is a service, very much a service of thanksgiving, and the family invite you to join in with that. And if you keep an eye on your order of service, it'll pretty much go unannounced and just follow the running order on the order of service. And so we're going to start off with that wonderful hymn, well known to everyone, All Things Bright and Beautiful. Thank you.
I will arise and go now, and go to Innisfree, and a small cabin build there, of clay and wattles made. 9 bean rows will I have there, a hive for the honeybee, and live alone in the bee-loud glade. And I shall have some peace there, for peace comes dropping slow, dropping from the vales of the morning to where the cricket sings. Their midnight's all a glimmer, and noon a purple glow, an evening full of the linnet's wing. I will arise and go now, for always night and day. I hear lake water lapping with low sounds by the shore, while I stand on the roadway or on the pavement's grey. I hear it in the deep heart's core.
Good afternoon, everyone. Dad certainly would have been surprised to see so many of you here today. He made his wishes very clear to us, to the extent of prepaying for his cremation. When Lisa, Lucy and myself inquired further, we were informed that he had actually specifically paid for a non-attended cremation. So what brings us here today is that he said, and I quote, "Beyond that point, it's over to you." Ivan John Alexander Latewood was born in Dungannon in 1938, the second of 8 children. He was known as a bright young lad and took his 11 plus 1 year early, joining the Royal School Dungannon, a year younger than his peers. He played rugby, excelled at maths and sciences, and had a love for the French language. He even spent a summer in Annecy on an exchange trip in his early teens. After A-levels and leaving school, he worked for several years, whilst in his spare time tinkering at all things mechanical, cars and motorbikes. His friends nicknamed him the Professor, as there was rarely a mechanical issue he couldn't solve. In 1964, his father died suddenly, and Dad took on the role of filling the gap for his mother and 2 young sisters who were aged only 10 and 6. Mum's family owned a farm shop in Legilly. Mum was training as a nurse in the Royal Victoria Hospital, Belfast, and she worked occasional shifts in the farm shop at home. Dad had spotted the young lady and become a frequent visitor, soon offering her lifts to Belfast, as few back then owned a car. This was a true tale of an across-the-barricades romance. Dad was by now a member of the Orange Order, but was falling for the forbidden Catholic girl. In the 60s, this was neither common nor easy, but Dad dug deep. Some of his uncles refused to speak to him again, but he rose above it. He would have driven Mum to Cayley's, waited outside as he wasn't allowed in. Less hardship than it sounds, as neither dancing nor chatting were his thing. But something basic like religion wasn't going to stop Dad marrying Mum in September 65. Dad then attended Queen's University as a mature student to study civil engineering. Mum was now working as a nurse in the Royal, and in graduating, Dad began employment with Farron's in Demurray. Soon after, they bought a building site on the Derryahy Road and built Cherry Lodge, which was to be our home for the next 40 years. We all have very fond memories and had great neighbours in Cherry Lodge. During the joyriding years in Belfast, we had several attempted car thefts, so Dad decided to take matters into his own hands. He installed an elaborate security system, and on one occasion chased a car stolen from our driveway and managed to catch and apprehend the teenage thieves. He had to attend court so many times he wished he hadn't bothered, joking next time he would give them £20 not to run out of fuel. In the early hours of another morning, intruders triggered one of his security devices, causing a buzzer in his bedroom to sound. On high alert, Dad donned his dressing gown and 12-bore Beretta and headed out to investigate. Neil and Greg had misplaced me on a night out in Belfast and were just calling in to make sure I had made it home. On realising both barrels were pointing at them, they promptly surrendered. For Dad, civil engineering was a passion. It took him all around the world, working in America, Canada, Kuwait, England, Scotland and the Hebrides, as well as all over Ireland. Projects ranged from Saddam Hussein's palace to a Millennium seed bank for Kew Gardens in London, as well as roads, bridges and water treatment plants all over the UK. In his final years, he attended a Civil Engineers Institute dinner in the Europa Hotel. Whilst having pre-dinner drinks in the foyer, an emergency evacuation was called. Minutes later, a bomb exploded within the hotel. Dad and his colleagues were showered with glass from the windows. I remember him arriving home in a state of shock with a colleague, formal suit filled with shards of glass. They had suffered minor cuts but no serious injuries. A fine welcome to Belfast for some of his engineering friends. One of Dad's favourite projects was on the island of Islay in Scotland. Queen's University had designed a wave-powered generator. This prototype was to be built in a rock crevice on the island. It was exposed to the full force of the Atlantic waves. Weather conditions meant that the project took more than double the predicted time. Inspecting the works was carried out by scuba diving, something Dad had enjoyed immensely and hadn't done since university. Over a few Scottish whiskies, he made great friendships with many of the islanders. I believe the generator is still there and operational almost 40 years later. Dad's final contract before retirement was a new water pipeline from the Mourne Mountains to Belfast, replacing the outdated crockery pipes. This project was known as Aquarius. The new pipes were around 4 foot in diameter, made from plastic with welded joints every few metres. Inspecting these joints from within the pipe was taking its toll on the contractors, who were doubled over in dark conditions with torches. Dad designed and built a lie-back pedal cycle equipped with headlamps and high-powered lights. This was revolutionary for the men. New Civil Engineer, the UK-wide Engineering Monthly magazine, featured a one-page article on the contraption, gaining Dad far too much recognition for his liking. As a family, we had great holidays. Mum and Dad were avid travellers. Almost every summer, we headed for Canada and America, where we met up with relatives. Indeed, Emma and Patsy are joining us today virtually from Vancouver. We had many European cruises, road trips to the south of France, and sometimes more exotic trips, including Hawaii in the 80s. For Lisa, Lucy and myself, our family holidays ended aged 16. At that point, it was very clear we were to paddle our own canoes. Mum and Dad continued travelling to Hong Kong, Bangkok and Australia to see Lucy on her year out. In his later years, Dad frequently travelled to Edinburgh to stay with the Kirkpatrick clan and his 3 Scottish grandsons. It didn't matter what Dad was asked to do, he was constantly there for all of us. He was a modest man, a vociferous reader. He enjoyed socialising with interesting people. But idle chit-chat was not his thing. In his later years, he was entertained by YouTube and the rise and fall and rise of Trump. Both Ronnie and Aaron became well accustomed to the one-way conversations with Dad on phone calls whilst dating Lisa and Lucy. Some would say a man a few words. To quote his mother, Ivan will never use 2 words if one will do. But we would all agree he was king of the one-liners. If any of the 3 of us had a major issue going on, we'd call Dad to avoid Mum's more frantic reaction. Dad was the voice of reason. He dealt with it. After Mum passed, he definitely lost some of his passion for life. However, having 9 grandchildren resulted in his final employment, Papa Daycare. Frequent trips to and from Moira Primary School, transporting his McCusker grandchildren, babysitting, lifts to and from various destinations, late night taxi driver for grandchildren and children, kept him busy and feeling very much needed until just recently. We feel very privileged to have had such a father, kind, supportive, generous to the end. He will be sorely missed.
If you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs, if you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you, if you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowance for their doubting too, if you can wait and not be tired by waiting or being lied about, don't deal in lies, or being hated, don't give way to hating, and yet don't look too good nor talk too wise. If you can dream and not make dreams your master, if you can think and not make thoughts your aim, if you can meet with triumph and disaster and treat those two impostors just the same, if you can bear to hear the truth you've spoken, twisted by knaves to make a trap for fools, or watch the things you gave your life to broken, and stoop and build them up with worn-out tools. If you can make one heap of all your winnings, and risk it all on one turn of pitch and toss, and lose and start again at your beginnings, and never breathe a word about your loss. If you can force your heart and nerve and sinew to serve your turn long after they are gone, and so hold on when there is nothing in you except the will which says to them, hold on. If you can talk with crowds and keep your virtue, or walk with kings, nor lose the common touch, if neither foes nor loving friends can hurt you, if all men count with you, but none too much, if you can fill the unforgiving minute with 60 seconds worth of distance run, yours is the earth and everything that's in it, and, which is more, you'll be a man, my son.
How long will I love you? As long as stars are above you, and longer if I can. How long will I need you? As long as the seasons need to follow their plan. How long will I be with you? As long as the sea is bound to wash upon the sand. How long will I want you? As long as you want me to, and longer by far. How long will I hold you? As long as your father told you, as long as you can. How long will I give to you? As long as I live through you. However long you say. How long will I love you? As long as stars are above you, longer if I may. How long will I love you? As long as stars are above you.
Folks, I'd just like to say that you're all very welcome to follow us over to Lisburn Golf Club for some refreshments. Thank you.